How to Draw Cartoons with John-Marc. Hey, it's John-Marc and welcome to my series on teaching you how to draw cartoons. Today's episode is filled with fun, excitement, action. Well, maybe not action, but a lot of creativity. So the first one is going to be a little cartoon snow monster. Using your imagination for the background will be a fun one for this one. The second one is going to be a little dog standing up straight. And the third one is going to be really fun because it is 6 different shapes with 6 different faces. You can really explore your creativity with this one and further it after the lesson. So if you have your paper and pencil, we're ready to begin. All right, let's begin the lesson. You'll notice that I'm using my traditional blue pencil, and this one is going to be a real fun one. Please use your imagination and feel free to explore your creativity and your style, of course. So what I'm doing here is a combination of his head and his body. He's going to be like sunk in like a whole bunch of snow, so I'm not going to do his full body in that case. All right, so I have my crosshairs over here, and I'm just going to create where the nose and the eyes are going to be. And from that point on, I'm just going to build up on this little character. So what I did here is I kind of thumbed out a couple sketches prior to doing the lesson just to get the feel of my idea of what the character could look like. Sometimes when you start dry like this, you could be erasing a lot. Not so sure how it's going to be. So what I did is just create some thumbnails and kind of gives me a blueprint on how this character could look at like. And again, I'm just going to be sketching. This is no final rendition. He's going to be just like his arms crisscrossed over each other. And I could make him like he has a snow cone stand, like an Italian snow cone stand. That'd be a fun one to add on top of that one. That'll be for the next lesson. All right, so as you can see here, I just have the structure of the body, the arms crisscross, and now I'm just working on his mouth. I have his eyes done, and I have his hair really quickly just knocked out there. What do you see in your little character? Does he have like a little village behind him? Maybe a little polar bear or penguin back there? Somebody sledding or snowmobiling? Feel free to use your imagination when the theme really fits in. That's something that I really want you to practice when you're drawing right now. Really think about the environment that that picture's in and really maybe do a little research in the surroundings because that kind of gets you in the mood and also helps with it. In this case, he's going to be really, really furry. So I'm going to make a little fur. So that's right, the baseline right where his belly and everything underneath there, he's just popped up from above the snow right now. And his little hair. Let's get a little jaggy here, really, really hair. So what do I see the color? Of course, I see like baby sky blue, light blues, and whites for this character since he's like a snow monster in the North Pole. I'm thinking this way right now due to the winter time that we're currently in right now, where I am. All right, I'm just going to reroute that hair, make it a little tighter, not so big. See, I'm not using an eraser. So this is step number 2 versus step number 1. And I'm going to leave that outside line there. That's perfectly fine because it is just a sketch. And I'm going with his eyebrows on the top there. Going to shade that in. Really simple. All right. Now let's get a little bit more with his hair. Okay, let's get his hand over here. Yeah, a little bit darker now. Okay. All right. So this is I'm going on like step number 3 in my step-by-step lessons. And I'm taking a little bit more time, and my strokes are a little bit heavier and darker, of course, in that case. And as you can see, the curvature that I'm adding, and when I'm doing the fur, they're overlapping. They don't stop at all intentionally, so they kind of have that little flow. So like, what type of fur do you have? Is it kind of soft and round, or is it really, really like hairline? All right, he has his 3 fingers. All right, and he's pointing that one. Let's get that little finger a little bit better. There we go. I like that. Good, good, good. All right, his back. That's his belly in that corner there. All right, so let's get his nose a little bit more. All right, round that up. There we go. That looks good. I like that. I like that. All right, let's get his little eyes a little darker. So what color eyes does he have? Since he's a snow monster, he could have ice cool blue eyeballs and everything. He's nice and relaxed because he's always eating ice cream because he lives in a frozen land. He doesn't have to worry about his ice cream freezing up. All right. And there's the other eyeball on the other side. And there you go. And this is the eyebrow there. Okay, that looking good. I like that. Let's get the hair a little bit more fluffy. I like the round edge fluff. That's more my style. Let's get that curvature going there again. And you can see how we have his arch back there, kind of like his position with his head there. Just like a 3/4 view looking over there. And let's get that little fur over here a little bit more fluffy. He could have a different color hair. He could have dark blue hair, thinking of that. And his body could be more ice blue and with white on it at the same time. Just thinking of that. Yeah, and I'm just going to shade that in right now just to reference that as a thought possibility. And again, sometimes what I'll do, I'm not going to do them on these lessons when you see, I actually will write down like maybe the hair could be dark blue on the top. Let's get his nose. He could have like a little reddish nose because it's a little cold outside. All right, let's get the little snow mounds there. All right, another one over here. There we go. Little mountains in the background. Simple, just to give a little feel for the form. Ice, snow tops. Of course, well, since he's in North Pole, everything is pretty much white. He's not. Okay, let's shade that. And then the reason I'm shading that is to give that depth and that dimension. As you can see, when I'm shading with the lines, I have them starting to curve a little bit with the shape of the mountain, so they're not always straight. Little clouds here and there. All right, simple. I like that. Okay, simple. Little character, little snow monster. All right, so make sure when you finish, sign date, share with your family and friends, and thanks for watching this lesson.
Now that was a fun lesson on that little cartoon snow monster. What did you do on the background? Did you change it? Did you make like a snow castle in the background? Maybe you made him a snow ice cream cone. That would be a fun one. Learning to sketch better and practicing and use your imagination is a key thing, and I hope you enjoyed that lesson. So the second one is going to be just as fun with that little cartoon dog. So stay tuned.
And now back to our show.
All right, all you dog lovers, if you're ready and you have your paper and pencil, we're about to begin this cool lesson on a dog standing up. Maybe you want to change something about him. You might want to put a hat or an outfit on him. That would be using your imagination, definitely. So if you have your paper and pencil, once again, let's begin.
All right, let's begin the lesson. I'll be using my mechanical pencil once again and just simply sketching out all the basic shapes for this little cute little cartoon dog. I have his face there, and now I'm just putting out for his nose right there. There you go. You can do a lot of different style noses. And here's just a crosshair for the eyes. So hit the top of his head here and his body here. I'm going to just lay that shape out. Feel free, once again, as always, change the shape and use your imagination. It may not be a little dog. It could be a cat if you wanted to change the ears, or to a little teddy bear. The body right now can be a bear or a lion even with a nose standing straight up. So feel free to just explore. But right now, just understand the technique of sketching very lightly. This is like my step one, like I share from time to time. Very light and very quick, and just getting the form together to help go a little bit tighter when you need to. Now there's his hand on his side, and let's give him a big tail in the back, or it could be a skinny tail as well. And here's a fun lesson with this one. Now at the very end, you may want to customize it and add some clothes to him. He could be sporting a little jacket on there, or a shirt, or even a baseball hat on there. That would be a real fun add-on. But here we go with the one ear on the side, and the other one I just quickly put there. Let's get his eyes over here. Really big and wide. And the emotions and personality really comes out how the facial expressions that you have. And I always have mine happy. That's all right. That's the ear coming down a little further down there. The nose. There we go. All right, there's legs here. There's a little, let's get the toes in there. Okay, maybe it's just there. Yeah, I like that. All right, so overall, just looking quickly, where else can I change? All right, so let's get a little bit more detail now and take that time and go a little bit more heavier on your pen. So that is, I'm just shading the nose. And now watch when I'm curving that little shadow there. So it gives it a little dimension when you're shading. So you're not just like shading straight across when you make it flat. All right, I'm trying to shade in the shape of the actual nose and his neck, the overlapping lines, and leaving that space for the neck to be exposed. Here's his little ear there. You could have ears straight up too. You could have it kind of like a typical German Shepherd, or yeah, you can change it to a different breed dog right now as well. All right, here's the eyes again. Again, that little eyeball in there, a little darker lid on the top, and his eyes. Okay, singular. And you can change the eye, make it simpler if you want to. And note, as you can see, the eye on the right is not a full circle like the other eye that you see on the left. That is due to the curvature of the head. Here's his little eyebrows on top. There we go. It's looking cute. Yeah, and he's looking really good. I like how that little facial and on the side here for his ear. Let's give him some hair sticking on out. Yeah, a little fun little character like that. And his arm on the side there is like, he could be holding something right now. He could be holding a baseball. He's a picture, so you could add a hat on top of him if you want to. All right, and then his little belly right there, and getting around his secondary arm. That arm is behind, so that's you're not going to see it too much. He's just straight down. Let's give where his little toes are. Yeah, and feel free that you may want to give him classical shoes and some tie on there, so he could be like going out for a little party or for a little show. All right. And what I would always say with that is using this final piece there, take another paper on top, kind of like you're tracing, but you're not, and then draw the clothes on top. So if you don't like it, you just take the paper off to the side and you don't ruin the picture. And you can keep on adding different elements on top of one another. And let's get the little horizon line there. So a little bit better. All right, little cheeks there. Feel free to add some spots on the dog if you want to. Polka dots, pattern on there, stripes. Hey, he's looked good. All right, so as always, let's sign and date. Share with your family and friends.
Now that was a cute cartoon dog. I have to say I enjoy that. You might be a cat lover such as myself, and you could change it to a cat, or you could change it to any animal. That's the key thing when you're learning my lessons. Just because I create something with a dog doesn't mean it have to be. Use your imagination, change the character. Perfect lesson for that. Now, if you enjoyed the first two, the next one is going to be extremely challenging and fun, so stay tuned.
And now back to our show.
All right, now this one, you're going to definitely want to put on your creativity hats. If you have them, put them on, because this is going to be 6 different shapes and you can totally explore your imagination and style all together. So if you have your paper and pencil and your creativity hat, let's begin.
Figuring out what the shape should look like. Now let's get a little bit different with some of these. Let's see. More of a cone head going backwards. Big head there on the side. Where should we have the crosshair? Okay, kind of like that. All right. The neck in the back. All right. Simple. Now what's another good shape? How do you find these shapes? Where do you look for these shapes? You could find them just in your house right now. This could look like a shape of a pear, an apple, a peach, a light bulb, just all these different shapes. A microphone, a peanut. Oh yeah, that's another one I should do, a shape of a peanut. Or a long, long, long neck. Okay, so it could be like a dinosaur on there, or even like a little turtle. How's the eyes going to look and shape an alien? All right, so let's do that little peanut one right now. Little circle, circle. Another one down there, kind of a shape of a peanut. What could we do with that one? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I like how that one's looking. Okay, simple. The eyes would be up here. Oh, I already see in my mind some thoughts. I don't know about you. All right, so let's get another one straight down, big one, almost like an hourglass. If you're familiar with an hourglass, that's where they have the sand of time and going down really tight in the middle. That's the old-fashioned time. All right, we got that one. What about this one over here? Another circle. Yeah, another oval, a little longer. A big jaw. Yeah, we'll just do a little circle and a jaw. That could be like a Santa Claus, maybe with a big beard or anything. Not so sure how that's going to turn out. Anyways, all right, so here's our next six. So when you're at this level, feel free to use your imagination. A tip, a very good tip. Before you work on your final one, even before like the first three, you may want to take them to a Xerox and Xerox it off so you don't have to erase over. And you can use those same shapes and just customize a dozen or two on there. And as you can see, this one I'm working on right now, I did think it looked like a pear. So I put a little stem up there, put the eyes on there, the eyebrow, a little bit on the other side over there. Okay, let's give him a big mouth, smiling open wide. Yeah, he's happy. All right, a little tongue sticking out there a little bit there. Okay, and shading the rest then. And there, all right. Let's give him some, actually give him some spots first. That's little spots. He's an old pear. All right, I like that. I like that. All right, so what about this? Let's work on this little peanut guy's head shape. Here, it's got his nose going because those crosshairs help. Is he mean or angry? That's because he's frowning. All wrinkles could be a grumpy old man. All right, little eyes there. It's a little dark. It's almost like when you're getting angry. It's like a big V. A deep jaw. Let's add a beard on him. Yeah, the beard like that. If you ever need to get references on different people and so forth, the internet's really good like that to look what an Amish beard kind of looks like. And let's put some ears on the other side there and another one. Give him some wrinkles in his frown like he's really mad. Again, this is nothing that's perfect in any which way. It's just a very simple rendition. Use your own imagination again, and let's get some of the hair around there on the bottom. Yeah, that's looking good. I like that. The nose. Mm-hmm. A little eye, a little bit deeper. The centerpiece there. All right, so let's work on this little character here. What do you see coming on? Well, let's quickly just put it together. Let's put sunglasses on him. Okay, little nose in the front. He's looking straight at you there. Looking good, like he's really just a little happy smile. No ways is perfect. This is just a real quick sketch. Let's add a goatee on the bottom there, a real simple one. All right, this sketch that in a little bit more. There's little lines to show like its little hairline there. Let's get shade in his sunglasses. Like they're dark sunglasses. All right, there we go. A little bit more on the side there. Little ears on the side popping there. Yeah, he's kind of bald too. I can see again. Just put some hair on the side. A little bit bigger on the other side, and the hair on there. Making Molar guy give him some spots on the head there, and little wrinkles on his forehead there, and little. You know what? Let's give him some more freckles all over the place here and there around his face. Feel free to use your imagination. That's the key thing when you're looking at something. Even change it. You didn't have to stick by that shape in any which way. This is no perfect. This is really quick sketching by my side. Who this little character could be. Let's make a little lady there, give her some little eyelashes on there. Really simple with the big nose, a little mouth. Typical, you wouldn't want to make ladies with big nose and big cheeks and so forth, unless they're really old, but more of a comical way. Ear ring on the ear. Let's give her a lot of hair on the top there really quick. Yeah, yeah, these are just simple sketches. Yeah, that's the eyebrow there, and a little bit there. Okay. Now this one, like I mentioned before, it could be like a little space alien, a dinosaur, a turtle. Let's turn making it to like a little dinosaur. All right, a little mouth, little nostrils hanging out there. Could be a dragon too. Could be breathing fire. Let's make him angry too. Give him a little angry little eye in there, and straight up there another one. So the curvature here again is that from the left side to the right side, it's going to be showing a little different perspective than the one on the far right, the eye. It's not going to look identical. Let's give him some little dinosaur scales on the top of there, and his neck and his little chin underneath there. All right, that's simple. You know what? Works for me. Looking good. Fine. Yep, yep. All right. So what about, yeah, let's shade this in here. Forgot about that right now. Let's give him a little darker mouth there and a little lump for his nose for a little, last but not least. Let's give this guy some glasses too, but now you're going to be able to see his eyes. I want to, oh, you know, let's turn it into a robot. Yeah, let's make it a robot. Let's give him some, the little antennas on the side really quick. Little eyes in the inside there, so he's a brainiac type of a character. Yeah, I like that. Going around their chin there, straight head on the top there. Shape, you know what, you can still get like parts, even if it was like a lug nut for the nose, you could possibly do that, or a tin can for the neck. All right, I'm thinking metal. All right, that's sort of shade that in there a little bit for his eyebrows there. That's looking good. All right, let's go on the side there and get the other side for the antenna. And as you can see, you don't see the whole thing. It's just popping through. You know what? Let's put a little light bulb on top of his little head there, like he's thinking a lot. Get the little lines to shade in on for the side of his head right now. To kind of square it off now. That shape used to kind of have a curvature. Now when I added that line, it just changed it to a little square edge. Little bumps here and there. So this lesson here, what I really want you to play up with is use your imagination simply. As always, let's sign and date. And I hope you learned something from this lesson, and have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed that lesson with those 6 different shapes. You can totally explore this after this episode and play around with whatever shape that you can imagine. Now, the first one was fun with the creativity. That would be a good one to actually color in. The second one is just full of opportunities for a background and where the character of the dog's staying in. I hope you enjoyed all these 3 lessons I had to share with you. My website is jmg-studio.biz. As always, thanks for watching this episode, and have a great day.